God of War update 1.10 launched around launch, the day one patch you might call it, but more changed with other updates that released before the launch as well. So I want to run down all the changes in this video and also look at a new feature coming to the game called the photo mode. Yes, pretty exciting. So let's get into it. If you enjoy that, then a like would be super appreciated, and let's go. So of course, God of War is a pure single player game, but still updating the game will give you some nice new features, like the Immersive Ui Mode that was added with update 1.01, so like the first update they released. So this for people that want the minimal HUDs, that want no UI whatsoever. It's not really handy, but it's still great that the option is there. I use it right now for my thumbnails, but I'm happy when the photo mode comes around, so I can start using that. Again, we will take a look at that feature in a second. But first, going back to some fixes they made, for example for trophies that would not pop. So totally nice to update your game to don't miss out on those trophies, and this update also fixes an issue where the 100% completion would not be awarded. So nice that they fixed it right now. A nice thing they added for people that use the subtitles is that you can now see who says what. And this was not in the game at first, but you can now access it via the accessibility window. And it's kind of weird that it's not like under subtitles in the audio menu. That would have made more sense. Also weird was that the two different PlayStation 4 Pro modes that are, by the way, also added via the update. So without updating your game, you will not be able to use one of the two different modes. But first, they were under camera in the menu, so that was really weird. But now with the latest update they put it under video, so that makes way more sense. So if we look at the modes that were added for the PlayStation 4 Pro users, we got one called the performance mode that renders the game at 1080p but gives you a higher frame rate, and also the resolution mode that renders the game at 4K checkerboard, meaning not native 4K, but it does some tricks to still make it look really good. Other changes were made to the enemy difficulty, the economy changes were made as well, although I did take a look at a shop from pre-update 1.10 and one after update 1.10, and I could not see any differences. So not sure what they tweaked, but they note they did some things, and also we got various bug fixes and improvements, and I really hope they're going to share more detailed patch notes in the future, so we really got a great idea of what they changed. I will of course keep an eye out on the changes coming to the game, keep you up to date on all the patches they deploy, just like I do for the other games I cover here on the channel. And one of those future patches will include the photo mode, of course something we see way more often in games these days. Of course it's for the developers great to create way more shareable content for the game, and of course God of War is beautiful, it's one of the best looking games I've ever played, so a photo mode makes a ton of sense. During a pre-launch livestream, Sony showed off this new feature coming soon to the game, as put up by PlayStation Report on YouTube. I put a link to his full video showcasing the full photo mode in the description down below. So we have no specific time frame yet, but we can see that it does look really cool. So at any point you can like freeze the game and then start moving the camera around, and then of course pick a nice position. We got some depth of field options, so you can blur the area a little bit. We can select different filters, we can use some borders, the logo of God of War of course, comparable with Horizon Zero Dawn for example. The best photo mode in a game in my opinion, and also comparable to that photo mode are the facial expressions that you can change. So Kratos is normally like this angry guy, but in the photo mode you can select a smile for him, and he has way more different faces you can select. You can also change the face of Atreus, so have him do weird stuff as well. And here we see some things that the developers created, and I really can't wait to see what other people's come up with as well. I will mainly be using the photo mode for my thumbnails, but we'll probably make some awesome shots as well. Hopefully they release this soon, because of course now it's prime time for this game. We want to toy around with this mode. When we know more, I will of course let you know. Subscribe for everything God of War. I got a ton of tips and tricks, guides and more coming your way without any spoilers of course. Like for example my video on the tips and tricks every God of War player should know. Totally check that one out. Drop a like to support the channel. I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.